Welcome to A Spiritual Lens, a podcast dedicated to seeing the world not just as it appears, but as it truly is. A spiritual lens is where we will begin to unpack profound insights, helping you to look beyond the surface and discover the underlying truths that shape our lives. If you've ever felt there's more to life than what meets the eye, you've found your community. Join us as we learn to see the world and ourselves through a spiritual lens. Here's our instructor, Omari Jahi.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? Welcome to A Spiritual Lens. I'm your instructor, Omari Jahi, and this morning we're going to embark upon chapter 4 of our book, Basic Instructions Before Leaving Earth, entitled Vantage Point. But before we get there, I just want to kind of touch on some things that we were going to touch on last Saturday. I know last Saturday we didn't, I was a little under the weather, so we didn't have a live feed last Saturday. And so we're going to make up for it today. We're going to do, instead of 30 minutes, we're going to do an hour, 30 minutes on New Year's and why we were going to be discussing New Year's and why is New Year's on January the 1st. And is January 1st really a new year? And then we're going to go into the vantage point from the book. So without no further ado, let's just jump right into it. This thing called New Year's, I've always asked the question, why is it on January the 1st? Because I guess I consider myself a logical, rational kind of guy, Hey, what's going on, darling? I consider myself a rational kind of guy. And so I've always asked myself the question, why would it doesn't make sense that New Year's would begin on a day that looks like this? The trees are bare, the flowers are all, if they are the flowers that last through the winter, they are all crusty and dusty looking, and everything's look gloomy, the sky's gloomy, everything, and so I've always asked the question, or I've raised the question in my own psyche, why is this January the 1st, the day that's celebrated for New Year's? And then I did some research, y'all, and I discovered that January the 1st wasn't always the day that was celebrated for New Year's. And we're going to get into it in a minute. But I want you to check out this second slide that I got, because it depicts what New Year's is supposed to look like. And it's, guess what? April 1st. Now, which one looks best to you? I mean, we just using common sense here. If I was going to consider something new, would it be April 1st when I look out my window, I go outside and everything looks like that? It looks like the year is springing into being, right? This is why this time of the year is called what? Spring, right? Now, let's go back to the other slide. This is still considered winter. January the 1st is still winter. This is not anything new. So I just have a problem accepting things that people tell me. And then when I did the research, and I want you guys to do your research too. When I did the research, I discovered that back in Rome, like 1750 BC, they celebrated the new year in March. Now, let's understand something. But before we go there, let's just look at this thing from a perspective. Here it says, while it feels natural to us, now that the date has no astronomical significance, meaning it's not connected to nature or astronomy or anything. It has no significance at all. January the 1st, we're speaking of. It was a bureaucratic decision that took nearly 2,000 years to become the global standard. So it wasn't the standard at first, but they changed it to January the 1st, and it took them over 2,000 years before everybody on the globe recognized January the 1st and celebrated January the 1st as being the new year. Now, why did they do this? It says the original New Year marched in the earliest Rome calendar around 750 BC. The year actually began in March. Now that's a little tricky, but we're gonna keep reading it. It says why? It says this made sense agriculturally and militarily. March was the start of spring when snow melted, farming began, and war campaigns resumed. Aha, now here we are. War campaigns resumed. But are we really going to depict when the New Year is based on a war campaign? Well, they did back then, but they started changing it. Hold on, we got a question here. All right, what we got, Londa? It says the new beginning of any year starts in exactly the spring. The traditional programming ordains January the 1st of every year to knock the people out of alignment with nature. Exactly, Londa, you on point, girl. This is my personal opinion. It's my personal opinion too, Londa, that they're keeping us out of alignment with nature by making us celebrate something new when there's nothing new there to celebrate. You see? And so, again, this is why I like doing my little research. I don't just go by what people say. Now, look at this. Now, check this out. Here's the March calendar. Now, the year starts, or the month starts on the 1st, right? So, but Aries, which is the zodiac sign, the first sign in the zodiac, doesn't come into effect until March 21st. This is Aries. This is when Aries starts. So you can't start a new year on March 21st. So common sense, just like with you and I, if our birthday fell on a Tuesday or Wednesday in a specific year, we would tend to celebrate it on that Saturday or that Friday, you know. But that doesn't mean that that's the actual day of your birth, but that's when we're going to celebrate it, right? So wouldn't it make sense then that April 1st is still Aries? April 1st is Aries. So it still logically makes sense that April 1st would be the beginning of the new year. April 1st is the beginning of spring. All of that stuff is aligned. So then if we recognize April 1st as being the new year, or maybe I should ask the question, why are we celebrating it on January the 1st instead of April 1st? It has a lot to do with business, a business calendar. And as they said before, there were military events that were taking place way back in the Roman days that they couldn't fight or really be effective in their war during the wintertime. And so they resumed these wars in April or in March, they say, probably March 21st, because I mean, that's usually around the time when things start blossoming and things start coming back to life, around March 21st. So if this is all true and correct, you guys, then we are celebrating something or a false holiday that has nothing to do with, they told us when we was growing up, they told us that this thing was about bringing in the new and taking out the old. They had an old man with a cane, you remember? And then they were saying that the old man was on his way out because he was old, and the baby New Year was coming in, right? As a baby. But now, I'm sorry, you can't. That's like urinating on somebody's back and telling them it's raining. If they want you to believe that January the 1st, everything is new. This is just crazy for us to keep believing this stuff. But we have to understand something. We've been programmed, just like Londa was saying. We've been programmed to follow these things. In Thanksgiving and in November and in December, we've been programmed to do all of these things. But yet and still, where's the benefit in all of this? We aren't benefiting from Thanksgiving other than getting bigger, drinking more alcohol, eating more sweets, eating more foods, like I say, gaining weight, increasing your chances of having going into a diabetic coma because you can't restrain. Now, I'm not talking about everybody. Let me be clear, because I hope the podcast change. And we were talking about, these things, New Year's and things, all these holidays, things of that nature. And one of my co-hosts expressed that that's not everybody. I agree. It's not everybody. I know it's not everybody. My point for bringing it up is not about the people that don't get depressed during the holidays. It's not about them. It's about the people that do. There's a vast majority of people that are depressed as hell during the holidays. Then there's a vast number of people that make these New Year's resolutions on January and then wonder why before February they break them. It's because we're out of line. We're not in sync with nature. And then y'all go check out our podcast on Thursdays. It's on our YouTube page, Transformation Institute Podcast for Change. Just check it out. And you'll get a lot of more information from there. But now, that's about New Year's. So now understand this. Now, I know everything I can't say I know. It's my opinion that everything I see, it makes common sense. But common sense ain't common these days. So I understand that you can tell a person a thing, they can rationalize it and say, oh, that makes sense. And then they go right back to doing the thing that don't make sense. Why? Because we've been programmed to do it. Just almost like a robot. We've been programmed, and it's hard to break a programming, especially when that programming has been running for 20, 30, 40, 50 years. It's hard for you to, and then what is your motivation? I've been doing this all my life. Why change now? It's not really about us changing. See, what this podcast is about, and what my podcast is about on Thursday nights, it's about informing people how to better raise the future, our children. We have to teach our children, right? We can't keep lying to our children that some white man coming in their house at night when they sleep, giving them gifts and leaving it under the doggone Christmas tree. When it's you all the time, And then we don't understand the psychology behind how our children receive that once they get of age and they discover, wait a minute, ain't no Santa Claus. It was you all the time. You see, we can't keep doing that because we keep producing, maybe I should say it like this. We keep making this gap, this generation gap that keep talking about, we keep making it wider and wider when our children can't trust what we say. When they were children, we told them something, and then when they became older, they discovered that what we said was a lie. Now, some people might think that that's very insignificant. That's nothing. Children ain't holding that against parents. The hell they ain't. And you ought to understand that this is one of the reasons why one of the commandments that God put on his children was, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. In other words, don't lie. There's a reason that he had that in there about lying. You know, it has a emotional, psychological effect on people. We know it does when people lie on us, or if somebody lies to us about something. We know the effect it has on us. When a guy cheats on a woman, it has a psychological and an emotional effect on that woman. And then the woman at some point, she wants to question the guy at why did you do that, or what was it about her that you liked that you didn't like about me, and all these other kind of questions, you see, because that woman wants closure. And now understand this: if she can't ask those questions and get those answers and get that psychological and emotional closure that she needs to move forward, then she's going to take that whole emotional trauma into whatever other relationship that she goes into. And this is the same thing with children. Now, we can say, well, that's not traumatic. Lying about Santa Claus, that's not traumatic at all. When I was a kid, I didn't care. That's when I found out about Santa Claus, I didn't care. But I did look at mom and dad a certain way and wonder, like, well, why did y'all have to lie? You know, you could have just told me the truth. I didn't care if it was you or him. As kids, we just want the gifts. We don't care who they coming from. So why lie? Okay, guys, I'm gonna get off my soapbox. But if you have any questions, feel free to question me. Now we're going to move into the second part of the teachings today. We're going to be talking about Vantage Point. Now, this is a very interesting topic. It's the fourth chapter in our book, Basic Instructions Before Leaving Earth. And it's really interesting because Vantage Point is a very how can I say? It's a very interesting is the best word I can think of right now. It's the very interesting because, see, when you're talking about Vantage Point, you're really dealing with, here's a definition. It says Vantage Point, it's the position that you are in and what you see from that position. So, what position am I in the world? And how does that position allow me to see the world? There was a movie that was out that was called Vantage Point. There was also a TV series that was out called Vantage Point. If you all haven't seen it, y'all need to check it out. Because it helps you to understand that there are many ways of looking at a situation or of seeing a situation or a thing. You know, we don't always see everything, or we may think we're seeing things from a proper perspective. But there are many vantage points. You've heard people say there are many ways to skin a cat. There's many ways to get across the street. You can walk straight across the street. You can go around the block and then come to the other side of the street, and you're on the other side of the street. There's many ways to get to the other side of the street. So there are many vantage points, ways of seeing things that I don't think the majority of us are aware of. And that's why I want to do this. I'm doing this to bring awareness so that we can begin to look at things from different vantage points. So now, let's see where we at. Okay, here we go. Now check this out. It is the position that you are in that we see from that position. We see from, now here's a position on this image, right? This guy is sitting in a chair. He's facing the window. You can see there's a bookcase on the left and there's some other things to the right or whatever. That's that particular vantage point that he's in. Now, I'm sure there's some things behind him that he can't see, right? So, as the guy was sitting in that chair, wherever you may be, or just talk about yourself, wherever you are right now, wherever you are sitting at this moment, viewing this podcast, what you see from that seat is your vantage point for that moment. But when you change or move from that seat, to sit in another seat or stand in another area or of the same room, what you see in the room changes. Your vantage point changes. But now, why is this important? It's important how you see things in life. And most times, we only see things from one perspective. And we're going to get into why that is a little later. Why do we just see things from one perspective? Again, see, the word that I want to stick in each and every one of us today is programming. Programming. We've been programmed to see things the way we see them. We've been programmed to understand and even how we deal with conflicts. We've been programmed to, again, this is not everybody. I keep saying that. I want to keep saying that because people don't want to hear what I'm saying because they might say to themselves, that ain't me. I ain't like that. So it ain't, I know a lot of people that ain't like that. So I guess what I'm saying is a lie because it ain't you. No. What I'm trying to make you, or even if it's not you, then you still need to be aware of this because it might be some people in your family. It might be friends of yours that are experiencing this. It may not be you, but if you are like most people in the world and don't give a damn and selfish as hell, then you don't care about how other people may be suffering from depression during the holidays because it's not me. It ain't me. It ain't my children. My children ain't depressed. So if it ain't me and if it ain't my children, then we don't give a damn. But here on the Spiritual Lens and on the Transformation Institute podcast, we care. We do care. If it's not us, it's still somebody in this world. It's people that we know. It's family members. It's friends, associates that are experiencing these things. And they need to be addressed. I can't say nobody. There's not a lot of light being shined on these things. So, from this second vantage point, you can see that he can still see the window. If he looks to his right, he sees more of the bookcase. But guess what? You see, he was sitting in this chair, but now behind the chair, which was to his back, where he couldn't see, he can see what's behind him now. So this is the importance of being able to mentally take yourself out of the position that we normally find ourselves in and see things from another perspective or another vantage point. A lot of people, they say it like this. walk in another person's shoes for a minute. So imagine if there were two people in this image, and one person was sitting in the first chair, like this guy, he was sitting there. Then now the other guy is sitting in this chair. Now, if you notice in that first image, you don't even see this chair that this guy is sitting in. Now, you don't even see the chair from that vantage point. You see that brown chair all the way to the right with the footstool to it, right? You see that. And so being able to put yourself in another position to be able to see other vantage points is vitally important in our lives, because if you don't do that, you don't see how people see you. See, I could sit in a chair and step outside of myself. I'm speaking mentally now. Step outside of myself, and this is something that we need to practice ourselves. Step outside of yourself and sit at the other end of the table and look back at yourself and see how people see you. Now, I mean, it's kind of difficult to do that, but I'm gonna give you a way that you can do it. A lot of people, you've seen people, they would, like if they're practicing for a speech, they're gonna give a speech, they stand in front of a mirror. And then they say their speech in front of the mirror. And why would they do that? Because they want to see how people are seeing them. What is my facial expressions when I'm giving this speech? When I said this, what are my facial expressions? You know, do I look like I believe what I'm saying? You know, because our face, whether we want to accept it or not, our face, our eyes, facial expression, it gives away what you are really thinking. And if you're not one of these people that are able to step outside of yourself and look back at yourself and analyze yourself, then a lot of times people will kind of know what's going on in your mind. I was just in a meeting the other day. No, yesterday, matter of fact, last night, I was in a meeting where with some guys, and one of the guys in the meeting, he was just on his phone. He had his phone, and everybody's talking and asking questions, things of that nature. And he was looking like, let me take this down so y'all can see my face. He was like this. Now, he might not have known that his facial expressions was giving off, I don't care about nothing y'all talking about. You see, this again is why vantage point is so important, for you to be able to know and understand what are you giving off, you know? Now, let's move on, because how much time we got? Oh, we got a little time. Okay, so now let me go to this next slide. Check this out. Do we see things like the horse with blinders that pull a carriage, only seeing what's in front of it? You see those things on there? You can't see anything to the left, no peripheral vision to the right or to the left. Only what's in front of you. You know, or maybe we just see things through rose-colored glasses, causing us to believe that everything is beautiful. You know, oh my man, you know, you put these glasses on, you think everything is just lovely, and you spend your life viewing or taking the vantage point of everything is so beautiful. I know that people, there aren't people, a whole lot of people that do that. So I understand that. My point here is that there are people that they may not do it their entire life. There are people that deal with situations with rose-colored glasses on. There are people that deal with situations with tunnel vision. They only can see exactly what's in front of them, and that's it. They can't see, the whole house is burning down. They can't see it. The whole house is disordered, dysfunctional, all dysfunction is all over the place. They can't see it. All they can see, and I'm not knocking anybody, but there are a lot of people that are like this, that be like, the Lord gonna make it okay. You only see one way, and I agree. The Lord is a solution to a lot of our problems. But you got to be able to see the reality of the world that we living in and what's going on. But if we can't do that, if we can't deal with things from a realistic perspective, then what are we really? We're just programs living on a loop. I've been programmed to celebrate New Year's, celebrate Easter, celebrate Valentine's Day, and now they added a new one, to make the guys feel good, Sweetest Day. But what's the benefit? Really, let's really look at it. Who really benefits from Valentine's Day and Sweetest Day? You get some flowers and some candy and a gift or whatever. But who made money from them flowers and them candy and the gifts that we're buying? And who's benefiting from Sweetest Day? Who's benefiting from Easter? Who's benefiting from Thanksgiving? Who's benefiting from New Year's Eve parties? Who's benefiting financially from all of this? We have to really look at these things. But now, here we go. Let's keep going. When we were children, we saw the world, the way we looked at the world was from our neighborhood. Little kids, our neighborhood looked like the big city. It was huge to us as little kids, wasn't it? That's if you was allowed to go outside. See, my mother didn't let us go outside. We were like prisoners. We can only go, like, you see how these kids are right here? My mama would only let us go out on the front. We had to be on the front porch. And if we wanted to play, we had to play from maybe that pole, you see that pole there, back to the stoop. That's as far as it went, so she could see us, okay? So if that was our world as children, and that world never expanded as an adult, as I grew older, there was no expansion of my perception of the world. It was just locked into that small little block or whatever. Then when we grow up, we realize that our block really ain't as big as we thought it was when we were little kids. And see, and this is where grown people come into play. Well, I shouldn't say grown people, but grown-ups come into play. We are supposed to expose our children to the vastness of the city and to the vastness of their mind, and expanding their minds to receive and experience new things. But if the vastness of their minds is only confined to the block, I know guys that all they do is they get a car and they ride around the block. They just go around the block. They park the car in front of their house. They stand out there. They talk. They kick it. They talk smack. They get in the car. They ride to the corner store, get something, or go to the restaurant and get something to eat. Drive around the block. Maybe it's a friend on the other side of the block. You hang out there, then come back around in front of your house and hang out. That's their entire world, the block. You see? But we're supposed to open their minds. I'm talking about parents now. That's our responsibility. We are responsible for expanding their minds past the block. helping them, taking them to the field museum, taking them to the zoo, taking them to, but some parents nowadays, they think that that's a waste of money. Going to see some animals. Why I want to go? What? No, it would be a waste for you and I, but it's not a waste for these kids, because these kids haven't seen nothing but our living room, our apartments or our houses or whatever, and the block they live on. That's all they know. And if they go to school, all depending on whether the school is in walking distance or if they have to take a bus, then they might see a little something, But vantage point, how we see things. See, we as adults, when we give birth to children, we are obligated now. We are obligated to do this for our children, or maybe I should say it like this. We are obligated to be mindful about how they are growing up. That is our responsibility. Selfishness. Like before my wife got pregnant with our son, I could say that I was a selfish person, because I was just thinking about the things that I wanted in life. I'm a musician, so I wanted a new keyboard. I need a new keyboard. I need a car, so I need an amp for my keyboard. I need to be able to go do my gigs. I. It's all about I. You see, but when you have a child, it can't no longer be about you or I. It's about that child now. And you have to figure out how to properly help that child to grow while doing the things in life that benefit you as well. But the things for you are number two now, whereas before they were number one. Number one now is that child or those children. So we have to understand and we have to realize that, and I've said this about us, and a lot of people disagree with me, and I understand this disagreement. You can stick a fork in us. I'm speaking of men and women, 40, 50, 60, 70 years old. If you're in your 30s, you still have a chance to change. Now, mind you, I'm not saying that everybody 40, 50, 60, and 70 can't change. I'm saying it's more difficult. It's very difficult for people of that age to change bad habits. A habit they've been doing for 40, 50, 60, 70 years. It's hard to change that, but I'm not saying it's impossible. So this is why I say you can just stick a fork in us. We've done. And our mission should be to prepare these kids, these children, to prepare them based on the mistakes that we've made in life, prepare them to be able to get past all of those hurdles that knocked us down and we stumbled over and things of that nature, and make the the playing field smoother for them. And then when they get into their 20s and they become 30 and they have children, then the scenes flip. It's now they become the guardians, you see, like we are now. But what's the solution? I'm coming to the end now, y'all. Oh, it didn't take that long for me to do this. We might not have to go an hour, y'all. So what are the solutions that how we can reverse this thing, or what can we do to correct this thing? We have to make, like I said before, we have to make the future better than the past. Because we have knowledge now on how to make the future better. We can change the past, but we can't change I'm sorry, we can't change the past, but we can change the future. We have the tools now, which is what? Understanding. We understand what we're dealing with now. And so we have the tools needed in order to make the changes, like I said before, in order to make the future better. When we bring children into this world, we are obligated, brothers and sisters, to introduce them to this world in truth and in love. We can't lie to our children and then tell them not to lie to us. See, this is hypocritical. And this old thing that they used to do, it ain't being done that much now, I don't think. Do as I say, not as I do. That's not how the world works. Children watch what you do. You don't think them kids be seeing you on the phone saying, girl, that hussy came to my house and rang my doorbell. I told the kids to tell her I wasn't here. You don't think they know that's a lie? You right there, mama. How you gonna say you ain't here? But then you tell them, you better not ever lie to me. Lying is the worst thing you can do on the planet. You cannot be out here lying. You got to tell the truth. But then they watch you lie every day. You don't think that has an effect on them. So we got to correct that. We got to tell these children the truth. The scripture says, raise up a child in the way that it should go, and when it is grown, it should never depart from that way. Well, if that's the truth, then you can't raise your children up on lies, and then when they are grown, wonder why they are liars. Make sense? I think so. Well, until next week, you guys, we're going to continue to look at this world and look at ourselves through a spiritual lens so that we can really understand and be crystal clear on what needs to be corrected in us and what we need to do in order to make the future a better future for our children. I believe the children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way, right? It didn't say lie to them and help them lead the way. Teach them well. Teach them the truth. Stop lying to them about Santa Claus. The kids don't care. I'm telling you now, the kids do not care about Santa Claus. They care about the toys. That's it. Okay, Londa's opinion. we have to unlearn and relearn. I agree. We have to be willing to reprogram ourselves in order to teach and free ourselves and our children from the matrix. Yeah, we all saw that movie. I love it. We need to get in tune with our spiritual selves, learn what our ancestors really do teach: economic, barter, and trade. Yes. Couldn't have said it no better. I agree. But it's easier said than done. And we can't reprogram ourselves or retrain ourselves until we accept the fact that we've been programmed. You see, that's like an alcoholic saying, now I know you're an alcoholic, or I know you're a crackhead, and you constantly telling me, oh, I can stop when I want to. I'm good. I ain't no alcoholic. I can stop drinking whenever I feel like it. And everybody know that that's a lie. Everybody knows it. But this is what we're dealing with. Until we are able to accept what we are and who we are and why we have become this way. Because people weren't born alcoholics. People weren't born crack addicts or crackheads or weed heads or whatever. When you came out the womb, you and I, we wasn't addicted to cigarettes. We wasn't addicted to sweets. We didn't have these addictions, sex addicts and things of that nature. These things they were introduced to us, and we became addicted to it, and we were programmed to continue them and to fortify them year after year. And we even pass this crap down to our children. I say this to you. Diabetes is not hereditary. It's kitchenary. It's how our mothers and grandparents cook. The type of food they put sugar in spaghetti, and black pork and beans have they put a sprinkle of little sugar in it, sugar in the corn, to make it sweet, and sugar bread. I remember when I was young, we used to eat sugar bread. Some of y'all might not know nothing about that, but this is why we got diabetes. It's not hereditary. My mama was a diabetic, so I'm a diabetic too, because my mama was a diabetic. Nope. You're a diabetic because you eat like your mama. That's why. What you got, Becky? Becky with the good hair? Becky said, it's mental bondage that to change just needs to be broken. Wait a minute. Let me rethink it. Is mental bondage that to change just needs to be broken? It's mental too. Okay, it's a typo. Okay. What you say, needs to be broken. It is a mental bondage, because we've allowed ourselves to think this way, that this is the way. Once you lock it into your mind that this is the way to do things, so this is the way that we're supposed to conduct ourselves, and this is what we're supposed to do on a yearly basis. When January would come around, this is what we're supposed to do. When December 31st comes around, we're supposed to act a fool and party and drink and eat and all that crap. We've accepted that. In order to break it, you have to reverse engineer it. Meaning that first you have to accept that this is something that's not good for me. I've been doing it all my life and it's not good. Now I got to change this because I don't want my children taking this bad habit that I've discovered into the future. I don't want them taking that into the future. So I have to change. Because my children and their friends and everybody is watching me. And I don't want them to pick up on my bad habits and make it the bad habit of the future. Y'all feel me? This is how we change the condition of our race of people. And it's the same way that our race got bad, because we've decided that we didn't want to do those things that our parents was doing to us. Let me show you real quick, and I'm gonna get out of here. I know I've been on here a long time. So look, when young people are put on punishment or they got a whooping because your parents said you need to be in the house before the street lights come on, and then the street lights come on, and you at the height of having your fun out in the street, and so you figure you're gonna just stay out there and just give some excuse when you come in. I didn't know this, or some crap like that, right? And then you be on punishment, or they give you a whooping, whoop your butt. I mean, we used to give whippings, beat downs, And so when you get older and you have children, you didn't like what happened to you, even though it disciplined you. It made you more respectful of authority. You decided, I'm not gonna make my kids come in when the street lights come on. F that. I'm not doing that. I'm not gonna beat my kids. I'm not gonna whoop my kids. I'm gonna do like they be saying, time out. You on time out. But yet and still, we didn't realize that we used to go into the stores. I'm talking about when in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. We used to go into the grocery stores and you could see white kids running amok on their parents. Johnny, come here, Johnny, come here. I don't want to. No, I'm tired. I want to go home. I want to go home. And you look at your doggone kid, and you be like, I wish you would holler and scream and act like that. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I wish you would. But now here we are. Now our kids doing that crap. I'm not saying all of them. I'm saying that it was none of us in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. A black kid would never dream of ever acting like that or conducting themselves or saying or yelling and screaming at their mother like that. That was a death sentence. And we all knew it. But now here we are. Look at it. You can go on YouTube, you can go on TikTok, and you can see these kids running amok, just like these white kids used to, what we used to shake our heads to. Now here are our kids doing the same thing. Why? Because as these young kids grew up, they decided they weren't going to discipline their kids like their mother did. And then whatever discipline they put on their child, when that child grew up, they decided, I ain't going to do my kids like that. I ain't going to make my kids write 100 times, I will not do this, I will not do this. Instead of whooping them, I ain't going to do that to my kids. I ain't whooping them, and I ain't making them write nothing. I ain't doing all that. Time out. They say that works. Put them in time out. Take their tablets and their phones away from them, which they shouldn't have in the beginning. But that's just my opinion, So, look, we got a lot of work to do, y'all. And this is, again, why we created this podcast, Spiritual Lens, to bring awareness to the things that we need to work on. And this ain't it. It's a whole lot of stuff that we need to work on, But in this little 30 minutes, 40, 45 minutes or whatever, we can't discuss everything, but we can bring awareness to little things, bit by bit, piece by piece, in order to do what? Initiate change. Michael Jackson said it best, and I'm out of here. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make a change. Till next Saturday, y'all. I'm Minister Omari Jahi, and this is A Spiritual Lens. Peace.
Our time together has come to an end, but the journey continues. Thank you for holding this space with us and for being an essential part of the Spiritual Lens podcast. As we go our separate ways for now, I ask that you carry the energy of this conversation with you. If you feel inclined, please share this podcast with someone who may find value in it, and continue the conversation with us by subscribing to our YouTube channel. We hope you will join us again in this space